Hey guys, my name is the Flying Rodent, and this is my Let's Play of Skyrim on Legendary difficulty. This is actually going to be my second run through of this little section, because I've already done this once. We basically went to Ustengrav and cleared that out, and got the Become Ethereal shout to protect us from animals that might decide to kill us, because last video we died a lot to animals, so I figured we might as well get a good defensive shout. And then after that we went to Windhelm, and we actually managed to get speech to 50 and get the merchant perk, and then we went back to the college, and then we went and visited the Augur of Dunlain in the Midden, and then I was about to go back to Whiterun to return all of my equipment to the public containers, and then yeah, this happened. Yes, Mzulft contains quite a lot of dwarven metal, which means that we're going to have to do multiple trips to try and cart everything out. Are you kidding? Are you actually kidding? Wow, the game deleted all of my items. Huh. Okay. That's a first. I have never experienced that before. We had a lot of items stored in these crates, and now they're all gone. Goodbye. Yeah. Like if we go back here to, I don't know, one of these saves, there's going to be items in these crates, and now there isn't, for no apparent reason. It's like the game's just wiped them from existence. That's the very first time that's happened. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Wow, this has been an interesting playthrough, from the value of items just being wiped out from existence to my items in crates being wiped out from... Yeah. So once upon a time we had all these items in crates. Yeah? And then they just like disappeared for no reason. We had all that, and all that, and all that, and all that. And yeah, then the containers reset, because why not? Jesus Christ. Well, hey, maybe that'll teach me a lesson. Maybe that's just yeah. Maybe that happens with public containers. If you just don't access them for a little while, then they reset. Wow. I wonder if there's still stuff in the back at this level. This is what we started with at the very start of the playthrough. Is there anything in the at the moment? That's really interesting. Yeah. Okay, so maybe what's happened, maybe what has happened here is we haven't bothered to access these containers for a number of days, and so they've all just reset because they're just public containers, and that's what public containers do. Huh. Well, there you go. That's probably a really important FYI to stick in the guide. And what we might do, because I'd rather not lose all of my items, is just redo this entire video from scratch, and buy Breezehome. So yeah, thank you, past me, for that amazing commentary. So yeah, to deal with that little issue, what we are now going to do, before we do any of that, is we are going to go back to Whiterun and use our money that we currently have to purchase Breezehome. And we can kind of skip forward a little bit in where I'd intended to do this in the guide, and show you guys basis of operations, because it turns out, I did a little bit of research after I concluded that bit of the video. It turns out, according to the UESP, if you do not access a sector for 10 in-game days, the majority of sectors that is, I'm going to assume that Whiterun is included in that, then public containers reset. And I'm going to assume that prior to this, for every single other playthrough that I've ever done in Skyrim recently, I've always revisited Whiterun once every 10 days, and for whatever reason we didn't do that for this particular playthrough, so we lost everything. But now it's all back because we've managed to revisit Whiterun in this time within a 10-day frame. But to stop this from happening in future, because that's kind of something I'd rather not have to worry about, and probably something that people that I'm trying to educate should not have to worry about, we're going to purchase Breezehome. So let's go and do that. Breezehome is right here. It's basically right next to the public containers we're using anyway, so it's not really that much different having to walk inside and put items inside. I was hoping not to have to spend 5,000 gold this early if I could avoid it, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, we got 15,000 gold. It's not like we're short on gold, and we also have enough to get to the merchant perk, and that's what we really need to spend money on urgently at the moment. So it's fine. It's fine. While we're going up, let's get the Talos Shrine Blessing. So I mentioned this also in the other video that once you get to this stage of the game, the RK and the Julianus, all the sort of flat stat blessings don't really do too much for you because here is my magicka and here is my health, and actually my magicka should be even more than that. It should be 260 because I should be wearing this thing. So yeah, so adding 25 onto either of these is pretty insignificant. But having a 25% cool reduction to shouts, that happened in one of my other videos, just like a random bird shadow that appears when you walk past here sometimes. That freaked me out last time. Yeah, so having a percentage reduction now on shouts is probably going to be more impactful than a flat 25 health or magicka. So yeah, ipso facto, come the mid and late game, probably the Talos Blessing is the most overall useful. Yeah. Alright, so now that we're here, if you want to purchase Breezehome, you talk to our Imperial friend, who should be coming to this area any minute now. Maybe still waking up. Let's give him a bit. The housecarls, of course, on duty at 6 in the morning, because that's what housecarls do. But where's our Imperial friend who sells us property? He's a bit lazy, looks like. Well, what do I actually use for 6? So just looking at my quick keys, I don't bother using 5 and 6 too much. So I might just make Muffle 6, because I do use Muffle a fair bit, so Muffle can be 6. That's not 6, that's Muffle. So then we have 1 is Bound Bow, 2 is Healing, 3 is Conjure Dremora Lord, 4 is Flames, 5 is Candlelight, 6 now is going to be Muffle, because we use that a bit. 7 is Soul Trap, and 8 is Healing Hands for Lydia. Cool. Alright. So, yeah, I mean, I guess, so if you were faced with this situation where you had a gigantic quick bar, what would be things that you would like to quick bar? Probably things that you consistently use in combat, that you'd like to use, switching one to the other. You could argue that you probably want one of these shouts then, if you're going to do that. But the thing with shouts is that once you select one, you don't actually need to quick bar it anymore. It's just going to permanently be your shout until you select another one. So quick barring shouts on numbers is probably only useful if you want to quick bar 2 of them. And I'd rather not do that. I'd rather just kind of have one sitting there. Probably Ice Form or Whirlwind Sprint for the moment. We'll leave Whirlwind Sprint as default. And then maybe we'll leave Become Ethereal as default once we get that. Anyway, let's see if you have any soul gems that I can enchant weapons with while I am waiting. That's not... Yeah, I didn't click that one. So yeah, mouse, for some reason using the mouse on this menu is not consistent a lot of the time. You'll have your mouse hovering over an option and it'll be like, here, and then it won't do the option. Anyway, I'm just going to purchase... there we go, Petty. Beautiful. Alright, let's see if we can enchant you guys into some weapons. I think I've got some spare weapons. Yeah, there we go, we got one there. Da-da. And then another one. And we can put this one on a steel warhammer. Why not? Alright, cool. There we go. Okay. And then hopefully Preventus is finally here, and we can purchase Breezehome. Of course, the friggin' real estate agent has to be the last one to wake up. Hey man, alright, let me get the house, thanks. So yeah, if you buy a house, you can then also purchase additions to the house. I'm not sure what additions would be entirely useful for Breezehome. I guess an alchemy lab is useful if you don't want to trek it up to Arcadia's, if you just want to do alchemy all within the house. And then if you want to use containers that are close to the front door, you probably want living room furnishers, because I believe the living room is what is next to the front door, I think. So, and you can also do bedroom furnishings as well. Basically what I want, because I'm going for utility rather than style, is to have as many containers next to the front door as possible so that it doesn't take me very long to access items. So we're going to go for the alchemy laboratory, and then we're going to go for the living room furnishings. And we're going to see what that nets us. Let's give that a go. And we have about 9,000 gold left. Sweet. Okie dokie. Alright. So let's go down here. And then we'll go open a new house. There we go. Now I have a house, sweet, full of containers that hopefully won't break. So yeah, it looks like we have... I remember there being some like decorations, and maybe that's the kitchen. Yeah, we didn't really get many public containers near the door, did we? Might have to go and buy more. But anyway, we should have an alchemy lab at least over here. Wow, we got bugger all public containers downstairs. Might have to go and buy some more of them. Anyway, here's our alchemy lab, which has approximately no public containers in it either, does it? It's got a chest. Alright, so we got one chest, that's one container we can dump stuff in, so we'll put our alchemy ingredients in that. That would make sense. And then upstairs we have a spare bedroom that I assume is meant to be for companions, and then this is your bed, I assume, and so you have a chest, and then you have a bed, and then over here we have another chest and a bed, and then down here we have another chest. So what I should do is just buy everything, because we can, you know, we're not really that strapped for cash, are we? Because we're about to go and sell a bunch of daggers to get speech training and stuff. So let's just go and do that. We'll just buy everything. So yeah, to buy everything for your house. So far we spent 5 grand on the house. We spent 500 on the alchemy lab, and then I think we spent 300 on the living room furnishings. So we're up to about 5,800 gold so far. If we want to decorate the rest of our home, now we can't, so you can't get the kids' bedroom and the alchemy lab because the house isn't big enough, so we're going to spend another, looks like 600, 800, about another grand, so it's about $6,800 to fully do our Breezehome, or thereabouts, and we might as well just do the whole thing because we can. It's not really that much money to furnish everything. Maybe it was the dining room that's at the front. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, now we definitely know that everything in the house is furnished. Lydia, what the hell are you doing? So yeah, let's go and check out the house. Yeah, because we got all these daggers that we're going to go and sell to our speech training friend in just a moment. But in the meantime, let's move all our stuff into Breezehome. So yeah, first 15 minutes or so of this video I guess are kind of boring from a viewer perspective, sorry about that, but hey, I'm trying to do an organic let's play through that's, you know, Pretty typical of what a user would experience. And of course, you know, Lydia has decided to get stuck, hasn't she? Yeah, of course she has. She's got herself stuck in Dragon's Reach just to compound the problem. Because I can't be bothered to fast travel back. So this is just before we went down to realise that the house didn't have enough furnishings in it, so we're just going to cut out the middleman and then go back, and then we're going to buy more furnishings, and then we're hopefully going to go back down with Lydia next to us this time, and yeah. That's nice, let me decorate my house, thanks. Oh no, I've already decorated it. Okay. I guess not. Oh, we went into the house. Yeah, okay. So this is just before we fast travel there. Anyway, so is Lydia here? That's what counts. Is Lydia next to us? Nope. Yes. Come on. Don't get stuck. Thank you. Thank you. Alright, now we go down. And then we check out the house. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we've spent the money on it. Okay, and we got Lydia here this time. Good. Okay. We're going to take everything from there, and we'll come back to the Dragonbone one last, and with any luck, we can move by picking all them up. Good. Okay, so that means all I really have to give Lydia probably is the dragon components. So, come here, thanks. Yeah, it looks like I just have to give it, and she's already carrying dragon bones for me. Well, you can just carry some more. Because, yeah. And you're over encumbered, that's sad. Alright, I'm just going to leave one solitary dragon bone in here for the moment, and that will put us back to 299 out of 300. How's that for calculation? Alright, and then we go, and we should now have a fully furnished breeze home. There we go, this is what I was hoping to see. Public containers that we have downstairs. We have this nice cupboard, but because it's inside our house, I think according to the USP that is technically classed as a safe container. So we have one container there that we can put things in. We do have a couple of weapon racks and bookshelves if we want to make ourselves look either warmongering or snazzy. Oh, we got a couple of sacks. So I guess from like a metagaming perspective, I could put the weapons and the... So the weapons that I want to plan on enchanting, and the... Yeah, put the weapons that I want to that I plan on enchanting, and the... What am I trying to say? Weapons that I plan on enchanting and the apparel that I plan on enchanting into these two little sacks, because yeah, that makes sense. There's no like size limit on containers. They did have such a size limit in Morrowind actually. Way back when, because hey, we've got to relate everything to Morrowind, right? You could only put items of a certain size and weight into certain containers, so you couldn't really store many items in containers actually in Morrowind. So the compromise that I usually came up with when I was lazy and I didn't want to decorate a house is I literally just made my home base the roof of Caius Cassades' house. Because the roof was a lot bigger than inside. Another thing you can do is you can just like commandeer the manor over the other side of the street that you have to murder the occupant for if you're doing the Thieves Guild quest and you suck at pickpocketing. You just steal his house and then commandeer that. But usually, because I didn't really care about aesthetics back then, I just kind of wanted someone to dump all my stuff. I just used the roof of Caius Cassades' house and then the roof of the person next to Caius Cassades. And that was my home base. So yeah, that's kind of influenced my mentality going forward. I haven't really bothered to spend too much effort on decorating houses. Yeah. As an FYI. Anyway, I'll leave a couple of daggers in here so at least I know which one's which. So that's my quote-unquote weapon storage sack, and that's my apparel storage sack, and then this is going to be my crafting ingredients to take outside cupboard. This will be my cupboard full of dragon bones, lol. And then, yeah.
I am at your command.
So let's just take all those back off you. It's going to be my cupboard full of crafting equipment. It's like the TARDIS cupboard that can fit, 9 dragon bones and 9 dragon scales and a bunch of other crap inside. Because, yeah, Skyrim physics. So yeah, if you want to choose to do this in this game, if you don't really care about aesthetics and you just, just thinking, oh well, I just kind of want somewhere to dump my stuff, because the fun is going out and collecting the stuff, and rather than keeping the stuff in nice organised containers, then you can do what I'm doing right now, and just go, hey, just chuck stuff in any old container, and then at least it's there. But if you want to come up with a very decorated abode that has like nice weapons put in different locations and stuff, then you can. I would actually suggest buying a completely different home to Breezehome, or at the very least, maybe displaying some of your best weapons and armor on display or something. But I think if you want a house that you can display everything in, you probably want to use one of the Hearthfire houses, because they're quite elaborate. You can, there's armor stands, and you can get all the crafting stations for all the Hearthfire houses. I just ate a Nordic barnacle. Oops. Yeah. So yeah, if you care about house aesthetics, I would probably get something other than Breezehome. Breezehome is very much the cheap utility house, and that's exactly what we're going to use it for. Is the cheap utility house, and that hurt for whatever reason. Yeah. I'm carrying a lot of stuff, yeah, because I'm carrying all these weapons. Let us... Oh, and I'm carrying some stuff to sell. So what we might do is because we're going to sell pretty much all of it anyway, let's go and get our speech training, because we're sort of dancing around that point. But before we do that speech training, we're going to go to the College of Windhold, and we're going to buy some gems, and then we're going to enchant whatever weapons we have left with those gems, and then we're going to go and get speech training. How does that sound? Okay. Because I think these merchants have now reset. I don't think I bought stuff at the end of last video. I can't remember. Anyway, we're about to find out. So yeah, if you are, FYI, if you want to buy stuff from people in the College of Winterhold, the best time to do it is at midnight, because then everyone is in their dormitories asleep. And there are 5 merchants in the College of Winterhold that will sell you soul gems, and 4 of them sleep in here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to like wake them up at midnight and be like, hi, can I buy some of your soul gems? And of course they're going to be like, of course, Dragonborn, because you are the Dragonborn and we don't care, and stuff. It is rather quaint that post Morrowind, Bethesda tried to, make the game more realistic, and so they, gave people sleep schedules and things, whereas in Morrowind people just kind of, like walked around in the same circle for 24 hours a day and said the same 3 lines, because they were, reminiscent of any other NPC that you would encounter in a 90s D&D computer game. But yeah, since then they tried to, give people lives, but then they ended up with this weird uncanny valley compromise with strange ramifications where they're like, they go to sleep, but you can just wake them up and buy their shit and they don't care. So yeah, this is Colette telling us, restoration's valid, isn't it? And I'm like, yes, of course it is, because I've healed myself that many times that it must be valid, right? Yeah, I think restoration is a valid school worthy of study, at least practically. If you decide to get hit a lot by bandits and wolves like I did, then it's definitely worth studying, right? So yeah, now that we've bought all the soul gems from these guys, let us come over here and enchant some weapons. What I might do, I might give the elven bow to Lydia, so that she actually has a better bow than this little hunting bow that she's using. Because, yeah. Oh, she doesn't even have a one-handed weapon, because it looks like I've stolen that too. So what I will do is I'll give her an elven bow. I'll give her some arrows to use with her elven bow, because if you don't give her arrows to use with her bow, then she'll default to using her infinite little hunting bow, and then I'll give her a steel mace. But that steel mace is actually one that I've enchanted, isn't it? So I won't give her a steel mace. I'll just give her a little sword back. Sorry. And then, yeah. When I find better one-handed weapons, she can use them again. So why do I insist that you only really need to give a helmet and a weapon to Lydia? Because Lydia is tanky enough with just her steel armor, and her main use is to carry stuff for you. Not necessarily to deal damage, because you have summons to do that. Followers really don't end up dealing much damage for you until you have crafted equipment available, because they just can't compete with, Dremora Lords and their Daedric Swords of the Inferno, unless you happen to find a Daedric Sword of the Inferno that's a one-handed weapon. So yeah, I personally don't bother worrying about the amount of damage that followers do until then, and so I just kind of give them whatever I happen to have lying around, and that's sufficient. All she needs to do is stay alive and carry my stuff when I'm over encumbered, and that's basically Lydia's purpose. So for that, she only needs a hat and one-handed weapon. And we level up. Sweet! Oops. Nope. So yeah, you can use to try and enchant probably at a faster pace than me, because your computer is no doubt going to be a lot more advanced than mine. You can use W, A, S and D to navigate this menu, and then the mouse in this position here to try and enchant things as quickly as possible. That seems to be the meta way to enchant at the moment. I don't have any more weapons, so that's actually fine. I don't mind holding on to that one extra gem. Okay, so now that it's 1 in the morning, and we've enchanted everything in here, and we can't actually sell anything back to any of the merchants in here, we are now going to receive our speech training once Lydia decides to follow me. Thanks, Lydia. Alright, is she with me? Good. Alright, and now we're going to fast travel back to Windhelm. And we're going to go get us some sweet, sweet speech training. Now, you're allowed to train. I've specifically not leveled up because you're allowed to train 5 ranks per level. And we are technically still level 25. So what you can do in this circumstance is you can wait and not level up until you've got your 5 ranks in speech training, even though you've technically got enough experience to go over the cap. You can wait. Is it still locked? Yeah, it is. Alright, I'm going to wait till 8 AM. So we'll wait, and then we'll walk around in circles, and we're open. Good. Okay. So yeah, we're still technically quote-unquote level 25, so we will get some speech training like so, and then we're going to level up like so. Get some more health, thanks. And then we're going to get some more speech training. How good's that, sister? But before we do that, actually, we might... Nah, we got enough money. We'll do that next. Okay, yeah, I love the mouse placement in this game. It's not like it's got it hovering over that. Jesus Christ. I love how poorly this was adopted from console controls sometimes. Anyway, there we go. So that gives us enough for that, and now hopefully can I navigate my way back up to what do you have for sale? Is that going to work? Good, it does. Alright, so now we can sell our enchanted weapons and whatever junk we have in our inventory. So what we might do is we might actually start with the junk, because... yeah, start with the junk. We've decorated our home fully, so that's not really useful. But if you wanted to know exactly what was in your home before you bought it, instead of just like splashing out all your money like we did, you would, in theory, read that book. But we're not going to bother doing that, lol. We just buy everything because we can. Yeah, don't need that anymore because we've done the quest. We can give those away because we don't need them either. And now we can sell all of our stuff. Weapons is what I'm after. I'm starting with you, and then all these guys. Sell, 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 sell. Keep the fine daggers, because that's technically what we're using to get sneak attack practice. Sell, 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 and sell. Beauty. How's that for calculation? Alright, so now we have 42 speech. How good's that? So we just need to get 8 more speech training, and then we're there, and that should be relatively easy to do. So before we... Alright, so the next thing we have to do is we have to... Oh, you know what, I forgot to do something before we went to Ustengrav, but it doesn't matter. We can do that when we get back from Ustengrav. Alright, let us go to Ustengrav. So how are we going to get to Ustengrav? We're going to get the stables from Windhelm to Ustengrav. The stables. We're going to get the carriage, who has happened to be parked in the stables, from Windhelm to Morthal. And then we're going to walk from Morthal to Ustengrav. There we go. I meant to do that. Let's just play soccer with the cart, because we can. Just kick it along. Yeah, sorry if you needed to use that for anything. Oh, that's a dragon. Yeah. Alright, so we're fighting another dragon. We didn't have to do that in our last video, but hey, we get to fight another dragon. Good. Alright, so, how to fight a dragon. Step 1 is you summon a Storm Atronach. Now, you only really use Storm Atronachs for fighting dragons. I've quick barred it for now, because I believe last time we ended up using that. But with any luck, this dragon doesn't kill any essential NPCs. That's the unfortunate thing about dragon attacks is they tend to kill the civilian population. So I hope he doesn't, like, you know, kill the guy that sells us horses or anything like that. Yeah. So the main sad thing about dragon attacks is they just kill NPCs, and then if you happen to have a game that lasts, you know, hundreds of thousands of hours, then just all the local NPCs that are not important just die. Currently this dragon... Okay, that's not good. Alright, yeah, that's why we got Whirlwind Sprint, by the way, because he just decided to turn around and attack us, and he could well have just killed us in one hit, and so we decided to get out of dodge before he decided to do that. Alright, there we go. Storm Atronach's opening fire. Now, most of the inhabitants of Skyrim are Nords, which means that frost dragons are not too much of a problem when it comes to, you know, killing local NPCs, because most of them are 50% resistant to frost. So in theory, we shouldn't lose anyone. But you also have to deal with the fun part of the fact that the dragon always spends, you know, 30 seconds flying around in circles before it decides to pick a target, and it's decided to pick Lydia as a target, which is a great target. I'm very happy with the fact that it's decided to land and pick Lydia as a target. Now what I'm not happy with is that old mate Stablehand has decided to run in front of the dragon, and if I accidentally shot him, then it would have meant he'd go hostile, and then suddenly I have a bounty. So that's an unfortunate part about fighting dragons around NPCs. Is you got to not hit them, so you're going to be very careful where you aim your bow. Now, ooh, okay, we just run. Okay, hopefully we can deal enough damage to this thing. No, we can't. Still, the horses are joining in, because why not? Hopefully he decides to land again. If he does, yes, goody. Now he won't move, and with any luck, we can beat it to bits before he manages to kill anyone. I'm actually going to heal this lady, because she's just kicking ass with a little dagger. I'm just going to be nice and keep her alive. Because, you know, she's just tanking a dragon, just this, like, you know, this housewife with her little dagger, just tanking the dragon hits because she can. Go, Arivanya! You go, girl. Alright. And no one died. Thanks, horse. Can I access the dragon now? Thanks. And then they're all going to sit around gawking at the corpse, and while they're sitting around gawking at the corpse, I can hopefully use you to go to Morthal. Thanks. Cool. Alright, and then hopefully all the you know, horses and stuff just return to their posts, and the carriage can make it over the dragon corpse and make it to Morthal. To-do. A day in the life of Skyrim, hey? Alright. Lydia made it. Sweet. Alright, we have made it to Morthal. And it only took us about 30-something minutes to get here. But, alright, so, Morthal is in this area here, and this area has some quite nice things to pick for alchemy purposes. Two main ones are Deathbell, which is a flower that grows around here. Now, Deathbell can be used from memory in a number of poisons, and is also useful for a fairly common expensive potion you can make from memory. I think it's like Deathbell, Dwarven Oil, and Salt Pile. Has quite a collection of very expensive effects, and all of those items are pretty easy to find. So if you're after the most, like, bargain basement expensive potion, it's pretty much Deathbell, Dwarven Oil, and Salt Pile. That's the best one you can make. And then the second reason to come here is to get these little guys. So there's these little swamp fungal pods scattered around the joint. And swamp fungal pods are used for making paralysis poisons. So yeah, it is. If you were, in theory, to decide to min-max alchemy and make a bunch of paralysis poisons, you would make a beeline for this part of the world as soon as you can, and then you'd just run around and collect all the fungal pods and combine them with usually imp stool or canis root and make some paralysis poisons pretty easily. So yeah, we're not going to scour the whole land for these things, but I'm just going to sort of meander around and pick the ones that I see, just to sort of demonstrate that there's quite a lot. See, just usually hanging around the water's edge. Can find quite a few. I'm sure if you looked on UESP, you'd manage to find the location of every single spawn point of swamp fungal pod, but we're not that dedicated. What I might do, because in the previous video we died a lot to animals, is I might summon another Dremora Lord, and I might stick to third-person camera so that we don't get surprised by anything that's going to kill us in one go. That's a spider. What we might do as well is we've got Storm Atronach on 4. Now we don't really use Storm Atronach outside of fighting dragons, so we might replace that with good old flames. Oh, thanks, buddy. That's nice. Oh, I didn't mean to drink that one. Alright. Anyway, we survived. What I wanted to do was I wanted to frost trap it before it died, but I don't think I'm going to get to do that, am I? What the heck? Alright, he had a fetish for going for me, but I didn't get to frost trap it. That was rather sad. I mean, soul trap it. Anyway, we survived. That's what matters. Let's go this way. Yeah, I was hoping to soul trap it, but anyway, there's plenty more things to soul trap. Plenty more where that came from. How are we going for money? We've got 7,000. Alright, we should have enough money to get speech to 50 now, if we decide to, so that's not an issue. And then once speech is 50, then you can sell anything to anyone, and then it's just easier generally to make money. Am I going the right way? I am. I've just got the wrong quest marker. Okay, I thought I was going the right way. Let's put you on, okay? Because that's what we're here for, right? We're here to retrieve the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller. Now there are some necromancers around here, so we're just going to go sneak-like. See if we can plonk an arrow at a couple of them. Good old stealth archery. Never gets old. And another thing we can do now is we can zoom in our bow and do this like slow-mo matrix shot, which makes it easier to hit moving targets. Is basically what you get it for. Because if you're in combat and things are hectic, you can, in theory, aim it at moving target. Oh, there we go. And then everyone's of course behind that rock. And anyway, I got a bit of sneak skill, I guess, from sneaking up on them. But that was about it. Bye. So if I wanted to aim, say, at this necromancer, as well as the fact that the frame rate is shocking, I can do stuff like that, and then use that to hit moving targets. Why are you running that way? For no reason. Okay, cool. Thanks. Sweet. Alright. Typically, I also don't bother to loot armor. I'll loot weapons, because you can enchant weapons, but I don't typically bother to loot armor. And once I start to get over encumbered, I start to drop the heavier weapons. It's usually my loot priorities. I usually leave armor behind because armor is heavy and doesn't sell for too much. And you can enchant weapons, and that's where most of your money comes from. I don't even know if that's the most optimal way to do things, but as a heuristic, it seems to work for me. Anyway, so yeah, let's go in. We're off to Ustengrav. Alright. So yeah, the intro to Ustengrav here, there's little skirmishes that go on between different cliques of wizards. We're just going to throw a Dremora into the middle of this fight because it sounds like a fun idea. And yeah, there's like necromancers versus mages, I think, is the local dispute for reasons. So yeah, just going to throw an a Dremora in because these poor little mages can't do crap to a Dremora. I don't know what you're fighting that guy. There we go. Just take some pot shots. Oh, hey, just moved out of the way. There's Lydia with her spanking new bow. Ooh! Was that a marauder? I just saw a bandit. I saw bandit marauder on the. Okay. Well, I'm not sure if we killed that, but I certainly hope we don't have to fight one of them soon because bandit marauders can kill you in one shot. They are probably amongst your worst enemies on legendary difficulty because if you don't happen to account for one, they just pick you off with the most paltry weapons possible in one shot with a bow, and there's kind of nothing you can do about it other than not get in their line of fire and just summon Atronax from around a corner and suck your thumb. I mean, Atronax Dremoras from around a corner and just hope that they deal with the problem. So yeah, they're not fun to deal with. Not fun at all, so hopefully we don't have to fight one at the moment. But if we do, I guess I get to demonstrate how you deal with it, which is basically, again, summon stuff and suck your thumb in a corner and wait until the problem goes away, which is pretty not interactive. There's a lot of stuff going on here. We've got some mages fighting each other. Let's get a bow out. Have a bit of a plonk away. We'll go for you first because you. Oh wow, that was cool. Just dodge the arrow. Is this going to hit the wall? No, good. Just going to shoot him in the groin a few times. Shoot past Lydia's. Come on. Of course. You're going to do that. So now, this is where it gets interesting because it's probably going to go for me, is I'm going to run this way. Because this is now probably the safest place to be. Just shoot you. Probably should be soul trapping some of these guys actually, so let's try and soul trap the Draugr before he disappears. That's a white. I don't know if I can do much damage to a white actually. Yeah, just gonna summon you. This guy looks eerily similar to the apprentice ice mage that we spent 5 minutes killing. I wonder if it's the same character model. Well, anyway, he's dead now. Bye. Now that we have a Dremora, we don't have to worry about that too much, because we can deal a lot more damage in a lot less time. Goodbye. Yeah. Mages are nice, because mages drop iron daggers, which is your best type of weapon to enchant, because it weighs 2 pounds, and you can carry a lot of them. That, however, weighs a lot, and I don't really want to pick that up. Ancient Nord weapons are not worth very much at all. Ooh, honed ancient Nord weapons. That's a little bit better, in theory. I don't know why I picked the boots up then. Anyway. We will keep going. How many soul gems have I got? Currently, I should have got 3 petties and a greater. Okay, cool. Alright. So that's where you come out when you finally finish everything. So yeah. Somewhere in here, just to demonstrate, there's a chest, and you'll come out near the chest, so I might try and loot the chest just to prove a point. I think the chest is... nope. I don't know where the chest is. There's a book that increased restoration a bit, but I don't know where the chest is. It's somewhere in here anyway, there's a chest, and you come out in here when you've finished with all the things. Anyway, we'll have a look in here anyway. There's not much point looting these. There's the chest. There's not too much point looting all these urns. There's not really that much in them. If you're lucky, you might find a potion, but most of the time it's just a bit of gold. So yeah, if you're that adamant about looting absolutely every container, you can loot every single one of these urns. But I'm not really too fussed. Yeah. Yeah, it's like 2 gold. You know. Nothing really striking. Summon another one of you. We'll see if there's anything worth looting around. Nope. Okay. Alright. I think now we're heading into the meat of the ruin. I think someone pops out of the wall here, don't they? Nope. That's just the way downstairs. Let's have a look down here. What's down here? Is this a secret area? I think it is. It's a little secret compartment. Some gold on the table. Sweet. Little secret compartment with some stuff, probably. Yeah, here we go. Sweet. And it's got the funky, cool, you found the secret compartment music. And I got an entire 111 gold and a crappy shield from it. Hooray! Secrets. Let's go back up. Alright. There should be some enemies. So let's summon one again, because it sounds like a good idea. Let's summon a second one, because why not? It's fun summoning things. Let's try and soul trap. Summon the Draugr. Oh, you want to hit me? There we go. Let's... What do we do? Can we summon you? Do we have enough? Yeah, that's one. Let's see if we can... Nope. Too late. Nothing interesting on you. A couple of arrows on you. Yay, another soul. Sweet. Yep. And then take the helmet, because why not? Let me go up here. Alright. Yeah. There's kind of not really too much to talk about at the moment. We haven't really learnt anything new. Anyway, maybe there's some stuff to talk about in here. Because we're about to get into the meat of the ruin. I can level up, but I'm not going to level up because I don't need to. I might do that when I get back to town, when we're about to get some speech training. Yeah. It's pretty stock standard stuff. You're just running around. Killing things. Can I sneak attack anyone here? Yes, I can. Oh, he's restless, so he takes more than one shot. He could do a lot of damage, actually. I'm just going to run around the corner and summon another one of you. And then I'm going to try and soul trap you. And then... Bye. No soul gem's large enough. That's sad, I guess, because he only fits in lessers and I've got petties, so I can only soul trap the normal Draugr. Okay, alright. So yeah, basically what we're going to do is we're going to run down there, and then we're going to go across there, and then we're going to reach the end of the ruin, and that's about it. It's not that big a ruin, actually, this one. Those guys are currently looking for someone that isn't there. I'm just going to summon you there instead. And eventually Lydia will, in theory, catch up to us. Can we soul trap you? You're restless. No. Must have filled the greatest soul gem with something. Anyway, so I didn't really need to soul trap you, did I? Because there's no gem that's large enough, right? Yeah. Have we got any soul gems left? Have we filled them? We got 2 petties. Okay. I mean, there's a lesser soul and a greater soul gem. Of course there is. There's another restless. Hi. Okay. That's not fun. Go away. Okay, you're very adamant on killing me. Let's just do the happy dance and heal myself and run around in circles while my friends join in. Then we can set you on fire, and then you're dead. Okie doke. We're getting in the rhythm of things. We're figuring out, like, 1 is attack, and 2 is heal, and 4 is flames, and 3 is summon Dremora, and 6 is spam that, and then 8 is heal, summon, and 7 is soul trap, and we haven't really used 5, I guess, to light things up. But we're getting used to our quick bar. Whatever you decide to use for your quick bar, it's kind of, as long as you're used to it, it's probably fine. I mean, in Skyrim, again, you have the whole real-time tactics thing where you can just, pause the game whenever you want and open your inventory and then give yourself a bit of time to think about what you want to do and access your inventory and your magic menu and stuff and go from there. So you could get by without any quick keys in theory, but it does make things fun to play when you get fluid at using different keys to do different things. I think I got this. Sorry, Lydia. I didn't mean to soul trap Lydia then. Oops a daisy. Anyway. whatever. There'll be plenty of other Draugr to soul trap. Alright, what's in here? Some stuff. There's common salt. Yay. There's a steel dagger that does absolutely nothing. That's boring. Then there's potion. Oh, there's another soul gem. Yay. We are taking a while to kill a Draugr, probably because it ran off somewhere, and Dremora is chasing after it. There we go. Yeah, it's always fun playing a summoner, and then you just like summon a thing, and then it just like runs off and does everything for you, and you're like, where'd you go? Oh well, I'll find out later when you come back to me. Yeah. Anyway, down here there's some skeletons, which you can, in theory, sneak attack if you shoot them. So let's see if we can do some cool shots. But knowing our luck, the Dremora will just blow our cover in no time flat. Oh, there's one. Let's see if we can kill it with our sweet shot before Dremora does. Let's aim there. Yay! How cool's that? That was a quite literal arrow to the knee that we managed to kill that skeleton with. That was kind of sweet. Oh yeah, and our dead restless Draugr just casually sitting on top of the fire vent. Well, there is like a thing that you can loot over there, but I've never figured out how to get to it. When I did this the first time, I went up there and I was like, oh, maybe we can go up there and loot the thing, but I'm really not that invested in trying to loot the thing, so I won't bother. Let's see if we can just sneak attack this little skeleton. Bye. There's a couple of skellies that are burning themselves alive because they're not the smartest in the world. Yep, that one just burnt itself alive because skeletons don't have brains. Anyway, let's head down here because this is ultimately what we came here for, which is the shout. Little word wall. Sweet! Fade, become ethereal. Alright, so now we basically have an oh shit button if we happen to get flanked by a tiger and have 0.25 of a second to react. We can at least, in theory, make ourselves invincible for, 6-ish seconds, which is enough time for us to react and do other things. So that's what we're going to do, just to demonstrate what this does. I'll do that too. So what it does is you activate it, and then you can't interact with the real world for about 6 or 7 seconds, but in that time you are completely invulnerable. So I could, in theory, if I wanted to activate it and then fall off a cliff, and as long as I hit the ground before the shout expired, then I wouldn't take any damage, which is quite nice. If you want to, jump off a cliff and not get hurt. But its main use is basically, again, if you just get, bull rushed by something and you have absolutely no time to respond and do anything other than mash a button, then you can do that. So that's what we're going to use it for mainly. To try not to die to wildlife again. But this puzzle requires us to use whirlwind sprint, so we'll switch back to that. And there's a little skelly up here, so I'm just going to try and third person sneak it. How cool's my strafing animation? Can I shoot forwards while strafing? Eh? I don't even know where he is. Oh, he's there. No, that was pretty shit sneaking, wasn't it? How good's that? The arrow came from like... Yeah, there we go. Because there's a bit of a delay, so it looks like it kind of comes out of your elbow. Fun. Alright, let's do this puzzle. So we're just going to sheath you, and then we're going to run. That's not running. Come on, let's run. We can do better than that. Where's our sprint function? There we go. Whee! Alright, now we made it. Thanks. So this bit up here is worth saving for. Just going to put that out there, because you run through a bunch of fire traps and then you think you're safe, and then a spider appears and you've got nowhere to move and it can kill you in one hit. So hopefully we don't get killed in one hit, but just to demonstrate. So you run along here, there's lots of fire, and then you summon one of these guys there, and then I would stand kind of over here while this giant freaking spider comes down from the roof. Because yeah, if this thing decides, not that thing, that thing decides to turn on you, you're just dead. It kills you very quickly. But it doesn't kill Dremora very quickly. as per usual, so we're just going to sit here and watch it do its thing. We got restoration to 40 as well, so what we might do... No, we won't, because that means I have to level up. I will wait until we get back to town. I'll just take some pot shots at it using my sweet little bow. Hopefully he doesn't decide to hit us. If he shoots poison at us, we can probably react, but if he decides to hit us, then we're probably dead. So let's just take some pot shots. Lydia's got the right idea. She's standing somewhere where she's not going to get burnt. The Jamor, on the other hand, not so much. So let's just run through here. Loot this. Loot that. Loot this. And get rid of this lot. And then we are through to here, which is the final cabin. Yay! So now we get to this cool cabin. And yeah, just because magic, we have these like massive stone pillars that rise up from the ground and look cool, that are powered by, I don't know, Toyota engineering or something. And then we get here and it's like, oh, by the way, there's nothing here, sorry. And yeah, our automatic stone pillars that look cool, we're all for show. Gabriel. Alright, and that's the end. We get to the end, there's a cool chest with some monies on the ground. And in the chest we have an ebony dagger. Ooh. I wonder if that's actually the best weapon we can give Lydia at the moment. That may well be. It may well be that that's more powerful than her little sword that she's currently using. It'll certainly swing faster.
How can I serve you, my friend?
Yeah, steel sword does 9 damage, and ebony dagger does 11. So you're wielding a dagger, lady. Thanks. Dagger and shield. Cool. It's kind of like Legionnaire style. Roman Legionnaires liked using short weapons, short swords, were the preferred weapon of Roman Legionnaires, because they always fought in these giant, fat formations. So they liked having short, you know, easy to use close combat weapons like short swords for that reason. So yeah, basically that dagger is going to be used like a short sword by Lydia, I guess, because we don't really have short swords in Skyrim. Alright, and we're back here, and there's the chest that we looted earlier that is empty. This urn has some gold. Anyway, so we made it out of Ustengrav. Sweet! Alright. We are almost back to where we were when we played this the first time. So we're going to finish this off, and then we are going to get our speech to 50, and then we're going to go to the college, and then we're going to call it a video. And hopefully we can do that fairly quickly. Alright, so first step is we don't even need to return the horn just yet. We want to get more speech training, so let's go to Windhelm. And hopefully Lydia came with us then, because we're noticing a pattern of if you walk out the door and then you don't wait a certain amount of time, then Lydia doesn't come with you. Good, she came with us. Thank you. Alright, let's go down here and get our speech training. Oh, actually, we're going to have to get it now anyway, because we were level 26 when we got it last time. Oops. Alright, what we can do then is we can go to the keep and we can enchant some weapons, and then we can go and get our speech training, and then in theory it should be high enough level. So let's go do that. And also practice some illusion on the way, because we want to get some experience. Just run along here. Come over here, and we'll meet up with Mzulft, the old dude who hangs out in an upstairs dungeon, and see what gems he has to sell. We can buy them. We could buy that. Might as well. So it's another thing to get skill with, and then we will use his little enchanter. I don't think we've got anything interesting to disenchant. We'll disenchant these because we are currently using the apprentice robes, so that means we disenchant that. And now that option doesn't come up. For some reason we're carrying around an ancient Nordic battle axe, so we might as well just enchant that too. And we need to get the mouse in the right position, don't we? So that's that. And then we press R, and then the mouse goes over here. So now we want to have everything kind of be in line with this mouse position. And then we don't have to move the mouse, do we? Enchant you. Enter. Enchant. Yeah, it doesn't really matter if you use Greater Soul Gems for this type of practice, because you basically should only use Grand Soul Gems to enchant clothing. Soul Gems do not impact the magnitude of enchanted weapons, they only impact the charges. Whereas the size of the Soul Gem does impact the magnitude of clothing. So if you want to make the best clothing possible, then you would only bother to use Grand Soul Gems. Period. And you can buy Grand Soul Gems from any enchanting merchant, and that's just an easy place to get them. They are a little bit dear. Normally he'd sell them. They'd normally be about $1,000, a fully charged grand or a filled Grand Soul Gem. So yeah, the easiest place to get Grand Soul Gems in this game, if you don't want to, bother soul trapping a bunch of mammoths or get the Azura Star and soul trap stuff with that over and over, is just to go to bog standard enchanting merchants and buy their gems, which we're probably going to do later. But not just yet. That's probably something you only bother to do once you have the Banished Daedra enchantment, because the Banished Daedra enchantment is very nice. Alright, so with any luck, we can get back to Mr. Sadri and get some speech training before the sun goes down. And then we can get to level 28. And where the hell have I gone? I don't remember this way. I've gone. No, I'm here. Right, okay, and then we go down here. Doi. Alright, let me run down here. And then we go in here. Good. Alright, we should be should be close enough to the next level to get there, so we're just going to get 5 ranks in speech again. And then we're going to level up, because we've leveled up, and then we're going to get some health, and then we're going to do it all over again, and then we're going to get 250 speech. So let's train in the art of speech. Short doink, doink, and doink. Okay, cool. And there we go. We have 50 speech, which means we can now do this. If we go over to Merchant, which is here, then we go up here, and we go here, and we select this sweet little perk. Hooray. Alright, so Merchant allows you to sell any type of item to any type of merchant. So what that means is that if you buy things like metal from smiths, or you buy things like, more importantly, soul gems from enchanting merchants and alchemy ingredients from alchemy merchants, you can sell them enchanted daggers in return. That's the main purpose of getting this perk. Cool. Alright, let's sell what we have to you. So we have that, this, that. Keep our fine daggers. I might just sell all these things, even if we don't have the gems to enchant them at this stage, because we can just make iron daggers, realistically. I've been holding off doing that so far, but what you can do is just make iron daggers from smithing, because eventually you're going to have to get to 30 smithing, even if you want to use the quote-unquote dwarven bows method of getting to 100 smithing, you're going to have to get to 30 smithing to get the dwarven smithing perk anyway, which means you're going to have to smith some things, and so the easiest way to get there is just to smith iron daggers, if you don't want to smith jewelry, so we'll do that later. Could just save that. No, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to sell this stuff. Sell that, sell that. The only thing that you really consistently use are resist potions, and resist potions. Maybe an invisibility potion is nice for a get out of jail free card. Cure disease potions, you can just use shrines, because diseases in Skyrim are not really that impactful compared to, like, Morrowind, where you can get diseases like Ash Canker that would lower your strength by 30, and then your encumbrance went down by 150 points, and then you couldn't fucking move. That was good fun. You don't have to deal with that in Skyrim. Don't have good old Ash Canker. as a disease. So yeah, I just sold some skooma as well because I don't really care about skooma too much. Keep a hold of the ingredients, sell some books. Pretty sure, yeah, we know both of those spells. Sell these notes because we've read them. Can sell the amethyst. We'll sell these dragon parts just to get ourselves back to par. And yeah, we're done. Sweet. So now we have the merchant perk, which is nice. Means we can sell any type of item to any type of merchant. The next destination that we have is the College of Winterhold, and we're going to probably go our way there and then do a couple of quests really quickly and then call it a video. So the first thing we have to do is we have to hand in our books, and then after that we have to go through a few other little cutscenes that are kind of boring. Well, not cutscenes, but unskippable conversations that are kind of boring. So we'll do that now. Save us going through that boring procedure at the beginning of the next video. We can jump straight into the action. Alright, let's hand in some books.
I don't want to see you treating any of these books. Hundreds of years have gone into assembling.
Alright, so here's the books that went missing. Have you read any of them? Maybe. No, I haven't really. You don't need to read anything in this game because you can just click through conversations and not care about them and follow map markers. Who needs to read, right? Next. Alright, so yeah, he gives you a skill book of one in each skill as a reward. So what you can do, if you are min-maxing, we won't read them now, we might actually try and make use of this later just to demonstrate it, is you can store books in containers without reading them. And then you can wait until you get the black book power from Solstheim. That means you get 2 skill increases for reading a book, and then you wait until a skill is close to 100 points, and then you read a bunch of books and then you get a bunch of free skill increases without having to expend much effort, and it's quite nice. So we might just do that just to demonstrate that you can for those lot of books. Yeah, so he suggested that you want to come see me. And yeah, if I was in more of a roleplay mood, I'd sit here and listen to this conversation, but this is the second time that I've done this video, and I've already sat through this conversation, and it's not really that interesting. He kind of just like walks around the orb and says like, we don't know what this is. Like, no shit, Sherlock, we kind of didn't know what it was to begin with. And then he does this little academic talk, and then Mr. Crooked Nose I am not evil walks in and then interrupts him and tells you to go somewhere else. And then we go somewhere else, and then we listen to another unskippable conversation with someone who says a whole bunch of platitudes that don't really mean anything, and then you move on to the next quest. Because the College of Winterhold questline was kind of rushed, just putting it out there. It's pretty obvious that it was rushed. I think, initially, there was planned to integrate the fact that part of the College of the Winterhold was lost to the ocean as part of the Mage's Guild questline. They were going to make some interesting thing with that, but instead they just made this whole well, what can we do that we can rip off from previous games? Well, Magnus was a cool dude, and so they just shoved this Magnus quest in and then shoved the stuff of Magnus into the Magnus quest, and you basically just get the thing and then you get the other thing and then you stop the evil dude and then you win, and then the whole time you've got these self-important people telling you that you will succeed and we will not fail, and I don't know what this is, but maybe if you go and do this next bit then we might understand things. And yeah, you're kind of just a glorified fetch quest guy for the College of Winterhold things. But you do get to go to some interesting ruins and get some interesting items along the way, so I guess it's not the end of the world. It's not as interesting as the Thieves Guild quests. Thieves Guild quests in pretty much Morrowind, Oblivion and Skyrim are the most interesting. Out of the 3 main guild quests, it's pretty hard to beat them in all 3 games. Seem to have the most interesting creative storylines, whereas the Mage's Guild is kind of go here and fetch stuff for someone's research, and then Fighters Guild is go here and beat someone up for someone. Yeah, that's kind of the same throughout Morrowind, Oblivion and Skyrim. Fighters and Mage's Guild quests are fairly monotone, whereas the Thieves Guild quests are a little bit more varied. Because it's not just stealing stuff, it could be stealing stuff or infiltrating things or doing things for X reasons, and then Skyrim has that cool little twist where you end up joining up with someone else and you figure out why the Thieves Guild is quote-unquote not doing so well. Anyway, we're going to speak to this monk and see exactly what he knows. And we haven't really been paying attention to the conversation for the last, 3 or 4 minutes, because it doesn't really matter. We're just following text prompts and map markers, because, hey, it's Skyrim. And then you basically just say a bunch of platitudes. So you just tell me, I am here to tell you that you are in danger, and that you need to go and see the Augur of Dunlain. Because the Augur of Dunlain will tell you something crucial that, no one else can, because he's the Augur of Dunlain, and he's some all-seeing, blue thing under the college, which we could have developed a bit more of a backstory for, but he's just basically a glorified messenger to tell you one line of interesting dialogue, and then you fuck off and you never see him again. So let's talk about that. Where can I find him? I figure this conversation is too hard to maintain. Sorry, bye. Alright, cool. No one can just give you complete bits of information. They always have to give you 1 or 2 useful lines that are buried within a shitload of exposition, and then you just move on to the next NPC that does the same thing. So let's wait for this boring exposition. Can I actually talk to you mid-conversation and interrupt this conversation and just get on with it? I mean, he technically hasn't left yet, so I guess the answer is yes.
Beyond asking for you, he never said.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, so in theory, if we, listened to that conversation, then we would watch him leave, but he's actually still standing there. Yeah. Anyway, then we go see Tolfdir, then he tells us where the Augur is. Tolfdir has now stopped standing in front of the orb and wondering how awesome it is, and now he's just gone to the freshman dormitory to go and stare at the much younger freshman than himself. That's not creepy, lol. Actually, he's gone to bed. Hi. What we might do before we... Oh, whatever, we'll ask about this. So the Augur of Dunlain is in the Midden. Where is the Midden? It's underneath the college. It's just like a random area. And before we do that, we're going to... You know what? Actually, no, we can't illustrate the merchant perk because we've sold everything. But now, in theory, we can sell him whatever we like. We can sell him some dwarven arrows if we wanted. Yeah, I want to sell those. We could sell him a dragon mask if we wanted, or a ring, or some random freaking potions. We could sell him some ingredients, some books, anything. That's what the merchant perk has enabled us to do. You can have a ruby. Why not have a ruby? Yeah. Merchant perk. Nice thing. Let us go to the Midden. So the Midden is just like a little dungeon. Why are you running that way? What was that? I'm pretty sure Lydia just ran in that direction. Yeah, she did. Hi. We're not going that way, Lydia. We're going down here. Alright, to the Midden. So, the Midden is essentially good for 2 things. The first thing it is good for is the Augur of Dunlain, who is this, ball of light who's apparently all-seeing and all-knowing, and basically just could be summed up as the random quest entity that tells you what the Staff of Magnus is and then doesn't do anything else. So that's the first thing it's good for. And the second thing it's good for is something called the Atronach Forge, which is basically the I'm going to metagame and get stupid level items at the beginning of the game's dream. That's an ice ray. I forgot about him. I think we can survive a hit from an ice raid now. We've got enough health, so ice raids are not as terrible as they once were, but they're a bitch to hit with a bow, so this is basically the best way to deal with them, is summon stuff and shoot it with flames until it keels over. And then it has some teeth, which you can use for invisibility potions, amongst other things, and then it's got a little essence, which gives you a decent amount of frost resistance, so they're not all bad. Yeah, so that's that. It's a little torch bug thorax sitting there next to the candle that I guess presumably got caught in a cobweb but not eaten. So yeah, this is the Atronach Forge. There's a manual which tells you, some basic stuff, which basically just says you can put the forge is mostly a large thing but embladed with a rune, and you can experiment wildly with the forge, and it's dangerous. I've recorded some recipes here, and you can summon an Atronach using these things. But if you metagame and read bits on the internet, you can figure out that you can summon entire sets of Daedric armor and shit using this thing, and just kit yourself out with the best stuff possible from level 1, and then go from there. Obviously a very contrived way to play the game, but it is what it is. I think another thing you can do is you can summon a creature from here, and then you can use the Wabberjack to bug it, and then it becomes permanently available. Then it just follows you around, and I think you can stack them because Skyrim bugs and stuff. But yeah, we're not doing that because this is not a how to bug the game and power level your way to stupid levels within 4 hours and then get bored playthrough of Skyrim. We're actually trying to play as if we're playing organically. So whilst the Atronach Forge is nice, I kind of don't care. It can just sit there and exist. And if we need any of the Atronachs that we would find in the book, we can summon them. So we don't really need it. Anyway, moving on. Your follower tends to get stuck in this door, so I might just save in case it gets stuck in this door, because then it's kind of annoying. Literally, they'll just get stuck behind the door, and then your only hope is to try and go transition through the sector and hope that they come with you. Otherwise, you're kind of stuffed. Just like that. Haha. All right, there we go. So there we go. We managed to get outside of the door. But yeah, before that, Lydia was just trapped in the little gap behind the door and couldn't come through. Yeah. All right. There's an ice wraith that's kind of hidden. So there he is. Knowing our luck, he's going to fall off, or I'm going to fall off. That's something else that can happen. Or we could both fall off. Yay! Alright, let's summon one of these, and run around in circles. No, he's still coming towards me, is he? Nah, he's not. Yeah, he is. Ow. Ow. Okay, let's drink some of them, and drink maybe one of our fortify health potions, and then we might get out of dodge using our get out of dodge shout. Let's go over to our get out of dodge shout, which is over here. That's not where our get out of dodge shout is. It is over here, and that's not shouts. This is shouts. That's our get out of dodge shout, and then we just mash this button, and then yay, now we can't get hurt for 6 seconds. So yeah, we managed to get ourselves pinned against a rock and several enemies. But thanks to the magic of Become Ethereal, we are now fine. Thanks, Become Ethereal. And meanwhile, Adramora just, murdered the entire floor while we were worrying about getting hit once. Because that's how shit rolls. Wonder where the Ice Wraith died. There. Thanks. Alright. So somewhere around here is in theory an Augur of Dunlain. Cool. But I don't know where. Somewhere. Let's pick some mushies again. I think there's something to fight around. No? Not around here. There's an alchemy table. Oh yeah, there's this thing. I don't know what this thing does. I think you can put something on it and activate some fingers, and then it does some things as well. But we don't really care. Oh, there's just a couple skellies. So we'll summon Adramora when it decides to summon, and then we'll summon another one because it sounds like a good idea, and then we'll burn you alive. Hopefully not die. Sweet. Alright, I think we have found... Yeah, there we go. There's the Augur down here. Thank you, Mr. Augur. Alright, time for another gas-baggy conversation with some NPC that, waxes on a bunch of platitudes before telling you the one line that's important and then pisses off to go and tell you to do something else. Alright, hello big ball of light. What cool parts of wisdom can you impart on us? He says, I am the Augur, and I am that which you have been seeking. Your efforts are in vain because it's already begun, because I exist out of time and stuff, and you wouldn't understand because you're just some puny mortal. And then I go, cool, well, because I'm some puny mortal, is there any sort of wisdom that you can impart on me?
I told you what they seek. What you seek.
And what is it that I seek, Mr. Big Ball of Light? Can I actually skip through this bit? No, he's just got really long, protracted bits of dialogue that I can't really skip.
You shall find
This knowledge will corrupt. It will destroy. It will consume. You seek meaning, shelter in knowledge. You will not find it. The Thalmor sought the same thing, and it shall lead to his end, as it has so many others.
Yeah, they could have done something interesting with this character, like, you know, given it a bit more of a backstory, instead of just being this, like, glorified ball of light that gives you a couple of useful lines of information. You know, could have given it a bit of a backstory, but, I mean, there could well be a backstory for it, it's just in a book somewhere, rather than something that he directly tells you, or you could come here at another time when you don't have this quest, and then he might explain kind of what he is. Everyone just kind of explains that he's quote unquote something else. He's just some wizard that he attained some sort of, you know, like light-based lichdom, where he's found some sort of pseudo-immortality existence, and he exists as a giant ball of light sitting in a well, because reasons. But he can't actually do anything. He just sits here and tells you stuff.
Events now spiral quickly towards the inevitable center, so you must act with haste.
Yeah, well, give me my fucking information then, ball of light. What am I supposed to do? Go talk to Savos is what I'm supposed to do. Thanks, get out of the way. Dude. Alright, so the quickest way out of here, you can walk all the way up. But another way out of here is that you just jump down, and then you go here, and then you wait for Lydia to run round the world to get to you, which hopefully shouldn't take too long, like that, and then you walk out here, and then you're kind of here, and if you walk down here, you kind of like trundle down the hill, and you end up kind of going to the back of the college, but unfortunately the slopes are too steep for Lydia to follow, so it's kind of useless trying to do this bit with a follower, but instead what you can use it for is to fast travel up the hill. How cool's that? Which apparently your character manages to do in, you know, 45 minutes. Yeah, alright, anyway, we made it to the top. Now we talk to Savos, who is in here again. Alright, talk to Savos. Alright, I have some important information.
Really? And what might that be?
And that information is that we need to find the Staff of Magnus, which Savos for some reason has no idea about, that he knows about, because I spoke with the Augur of Dunlain. That's nice. And then, yeah. Well, conveniently, one of my staff happens to know where the Staff of Magnus is, because reasons, so you should go and see this staff who's just received this convenient bit of information. Cool, let's go do that. Thanks. Oh, and he gives you a mage circlet. I probably should have paid attention to that. So yeah, if you do this quest after level 25, you get a major circlet and it gives you 70 magicka. So that is why we waited until level 25 to do this quest. I should have explained that more thoroughly and not just like ran through this bit really quickly, but I'm just trying to end the video at this point because I've already done this before. Hi Mirabelle.
Don't bother the Archmage unless it's... Well, now that's an odd question.
Alright, you need to find the Staff of Magnus. And he said that you know where it is. And she's like, we know that the Synod have found it. And what are the Synod? The Synod are basically the pathetic remnants of the Magus Guilds present in Morrowind and Oblivion. In theory, what happened is after the Empire collapsed, all of the Imperial Guilds kind of, you know, lost their footing, and so factions within them tried to consolidate power, and the Synod is one of those factions. So it's basically the old Magus Guild, or the most powerful faction of the Magus Guild, and what's left of it from Morrowind and Oblivion. Rest in peace, Imperial Empire.
No one here does. The Synod seemed convinced it was somewhere in Skyrim. They inquired about the ruins of Mzulft, but that's all I remember. It sounded like they were heading there, though they were rather secretive about why. I suppose if you're intent on looking for the staff, there's a chance they might be in Mzulft yet. Just don't expect them to be cooperative.
Anyway, so TLDR, head to Mzulft. Thanks. Alright. Cool. So this is where we were up to. when we tried to do this last time. We basically went, okay, we now need to head to Mzulft, but before we head to Mzulft, because there happens to be a lot of dwarven metal in Mzulft, we should travel to Whiterun. And then we travelled to Whiterun to then dump all our items in the barrels, and they weren't there. And then we got a bit of a shock. But this time, because, you know, we spent an hour and a half rectifying that mistake, there is now nothing in the barrels anyway, except for this, because we left it there before, and everything is in our home. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get in the habit of going home and then dumping all of our stuff there before we head out. So just to reiterate, you can store an unlimited amount of items in containers. I like using 4 different containers basically. I liked using one for spare weapons, I liked using one for spare armor and apparel to enchant. I liked using one for generic smithing and enchanting crafting ingredients, and then I like using one for alchemy ingredients, and that's just a nice early to mid game, easy to use setup for containers. So yeah, that's basically what we're going to go with. I'm going to chuck this Nord bow and Nord war axe in here. We'll keep a hold of the daggers in case we want to do some sneak attacky shenanigans on things. And then for apparel, this is where you usually store things like rings. I might even store this dragon hood in there. I can sell that novice hood now because now we're wearing a major circlet. As you can see, we've got this swanky new circlet on, but I can't rotate the camera indoors because reasons. Can I rotate the camera now? Nope, you can't rotate the camera indoors. Okay, there we go. Sweet. Just wearing this cool little band. How cool's that? Nice. Alright, anyway, so that's my headgear for now. And then we're going to put some crafting equipment in here, which includes things like dragon scales and iron ingots, and we'll leave the petty gems for now, and then we're going to put our alchemy ingredients over here. Oh yeah, you can loot some of these, and they periodically respawn. Particularly, you can loot these elves' ears. Elves' ears are an alchemy ingredient. The rest of this stuff, and garlic. Elves' ear and garlic are technically alchemy ingredients, so you can just pick these, and they'll respawn because they're growing. In theory, you can just loot them, and then we'll put all our alchemy ingredients in this convenient chest, like so, including all of our death spell and swamp fungal pod that we got from near Morthal. Yeah, but yeah, maybe we can demonstrate what you can use some of these things for before we head out. So imp stool and swamp fungal pod are useful for paralysis poisons, so maybe we can get a bit of that, and we can also make some invis potions using ice wraith teeth and other things. We don't have any chorus eggs yet because we haven't found any chorus. We're about to, because we're about to go into Mzulft. But you can make an invis potion using, I don't know, a bit of vampire dust. And ice wraith teeth. Have I got many lunar moth wings? I got 2, whatever. So yeah, let's just demonstrate that we can do it, shall we? So we can make an invis potion by doing this. There we go. 21 seconds of invis. We can do the same thing by doing this. And then we can make a paralysis poison by doing this. And it also restores the target's health. That's interesting. I didn't know that. There you go. Today alert. That shouldn't really matter, because usually if you're trying to use a paralysis poison or something, you're using it when they're on full health anyway, and then you're going to wallop them, so the restore health effect only happens when you initially hit them. But 5 seconds of paralysis, this is we're at 19 alchemy with 1 alchemy perk. 5 seconds of paralysis is nothing to be sneezed at. The trick is that you then need to attach it to a weapon, and then you need to hit the thing with the weapon, and all of that takes a lot of time. By this stage of the game, it's a lot quicker just to, burp ice form at something, and that takes 0.5 of a second. So paralysis poisons are kind of moot. But in theory, that is how you would make a paralysis poison. If you wanted to rush there, at level 1, you could use those little mushies to make some paralysis poisons and boost alchemy by a nice amount, but we're not going to bother. We also have some books. Maybe I can put the books in a container upstairs, if I remember. Oh, there's a few more containers upstairs now. Nice. There's a few in the bedroom. We'll put the books in here. Why not? Once upon a time when I first played Skyrim, I literally just dumped everything in this chest. But it was very difficult to navigate between different types of items if you did that. So, yeah, I don't do that anymore. I usually have, a few different places that I put my loot now. Alright. That's that. Let's go out. And now let's head to Mzulft. We'll head off to where you would normally go to Mzulft, so I'm only carrying, a tiny amount of stuff now, mainly potions. Because Mzulft has a lot of dwarven metal in it, so we're going to spend pretty much the duration of the next mission looting the crap out of Mzulft and getting as much dwarven metal out of it as possible and going through how to do that. But until then, we're going to call it there. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. I'm sorry this was a bit of a longer video, but we did sort of have to make up for the fact that we discovered that our containers ate all of our materials last time, and the guide has now been rectified. I have advised not to use public containers for long periods of time, and advised why, which is basically that if you don't access a sector for 10 in-game days, then all of your stuff disappears. But if you are playing this early on in the game, and you're usually running back and forth between Whiterun, then using barrels for early containers is not too bad before you manage to purchase yourself a home. So yeah, it's all fine. We'll save it there. So thank you very much, guys, and I hope you have a good day.